Welcome back to the Artie Lange Show. Big night here. Speaking of legendary comedians, one of the best of all time, brother. Simply put, the great Andrew Dice Clay, and proud to say my friend.
Thank you.
How you doing, man?
No, I'm good. This is amazing.
Yeah. Look,
No, you know what I mean? Like, this is the same show, like, that I would call you, right?
Right. Well, we were in a small studio for a long time, but then they built this about 4 months ago. So.
No, but when I would call you, was it on the television?
Yeah. The last time you called me, we were in here.
Yeah. When there was somebody else.
Yeah, and when Nick left, and he's doing his own thing, but we're still buddies and everything.
No,
but,
I know. I'm not going to make a thing out of it.
It's going good. We're having fun. It's just a playground, you know. And you look fantastic. You look great. You look better every time I see you.
What's the training? And who talked to me about that? Who talked to me about that at Florentine's wedding? You did.
Yeah.
When we were talking about the special.
Yeah,
and,
right. You hadn't taped your special yet. You had a bunch of stuff going on.
A lot of things going on. A lot of exciting stuff.
As exciting as it gets. You're talking Woody Allen movie, stand-up special.
Yeah, the special's called Indestructible.
Right.
And it went through the roof. It's as far
as it should.
As far as Showtime's concerned, it's the most stolen special ever. Yeah, they knocked down close to 1,000 sites within 3 days.
That's how they measure stuff nowadays. You know, how many people steal it?
Yeah, and tweeting. You know, God forbid you don't tweet.
You got to tweet.
You know what I mean? I like to just bang these chicks. I don't need to tweet them. You know what I mean? We're on a network. You could say that. Bang is okay.
You can say bang.
Right?
You got to stay away from the other stuff, which I hate.
I try to come up with names that are like TV and radio friendly.
Yeah.
You know, like I wouldn't say like my genitals, the real word.
Right, you can't.
You know what I
say
mean? You use words like screw gun. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Screw gun is a great word. You know what I mean?
It's
coconut
terrible.
juice.
It's terrible. We can't talk like men, but we have to.
No, but that's what it is.
Yeah,
you know, this is
it
great.
is what it is. So, we were just talking. I just did a charity gig at Gotham Comedy Club for Gilbert Gottfried, and Jerry Seinfeld showed up. What is your relationship like with Jerry Seinfeld from back in the day?
Really, you know
you
what?
guys are peers,
really
and you always seem to respect each other.
Yeah,
right?
no, Seinfeld. I always say, to me, Seinfeld is probably the greatest clean comic there is.
Right, yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
every joke he does is picked apart perfectly, and he was always like that from day one.
Right.
You know, and I'm the filthiest, greatest comic in the world.
Well, you can listen. People say differently.
But you know what it is? It's not even about the filth. It's about very real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The stuff I talk
You're
about.
honest.
Well, the act is very sexual.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I talk
I've
about
heard
these new school piglets today, you know what I mean? And the level they've gone to, and when they read books like 50 Shades of Grey, you know what I mean? And they're hiding it from their husbands, and I'm thinking that book saved an entire book chain. I used to buy like the same kind of filthy book like under a train station in Brooklyn for $1.50, and I'd rip it in half and give my friend the other half. I go, who cares as long as I get what I need to get done by page 3.
Right.
You know, but the world has turned, and
it has, man.
So the act has evolved in that way. You know what I mean?
Well, but I used to always say when people, as a fan of stand-up comedy, when I was listening to all you guys, people would say to me the difference between you and Jerry Seinfeld, and I would always say Jerry Seinfeld is a great comic. He's really funny, but Dice makes me belly laugh. Like when I see Dice at a club, and I would see it at Rascals a lot growing up in Jersey, like me and my buddies would laugh so hard, like your face turns red, you almost throw up, you laugh.
You know what?
You're
That's
killing.
the aim.
The walls,
that's my aim.
But like the walls would move.
Well, you know
Seinfeld, real funny, but not the same reaction.
It's a different kind of act.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right.
And when you only allow yourself to go to a certain level, I mean, he's a clean comic.
Sure.
He's a
brilliant.
family-friendly comic.
Right.
You know? And what's funny is I ran into him about 4 months ago in front of a Jerry's Deli in L.A.
Yeah.
And I was with my sons, Max and Dylan. And Max...
Two kids I met because we did a couple of gigs together, and they opened.
That's right.
Brilliant musicians.
Well, now they're really cooking. The name of that band is called L.A. Rocks. The downloads have been amazing on their first EP. That's on
One's
iTunes.
a drummer, one plays guitar, right?
Yeah. And they have a bass player, Kyle Kreis, and now from the special, they're meeting with these huge record companies that want to sign them, and they're still really young.
Right.
They actually, I just made a deal at the Hard Rock Hotel in Vegas. The Hard Rock Casino.
This is big. You just told me this.
Yeah, it's a residency, and I'll be there for the next year. I'll do 20 weeks for them.
Oh, that's perfect.
And it's on sale now, and they actually booked my kids' band, LA Rocks, separately from me.
Wow.
Which is really exciting for me as a
That's
father.
cool because it makes them seem legit. You know, I mean, because listen, it's one thing for you to put them on your show, but they're not, unless they're good, they're not getting their own gig.
Yeah, you got to understand, you know, my son Dylan, who started playing guitar when he was 11, started recording his music at 12.
Right.
So by the time he was 14, they were playing places like the Whiskey, and they were offered record deals back then. O&A like showcased 3 of their songs,
right?
And record companies came to me, and you know, he was very young. You know, he didn't even go through high school yet. And once he got through high school, you know, and I was going to do this special, you know, he got into rehearsing, and they opened the show for me, and they were phenomenal. They played a song called Outlaw, and Dylan was phenomenal with the vocals and the guitar solo, and then Max played.
Dylan sings, too.
Yeah, he writes all the songs, he sings all the songs, and my son Max played this drum solo, which today, you don't really even see drum solos.
No,
you know,
not anymore, not like you used to.
But the whole idea of LA Rocks is to bring back the kind of rock that we would like.
Sure.
You know, that real heavy-duty rock and roll, Guns N' Roses,
you see,
Led Zeppelin.
Neil Peart and Rush would do like a drum solo.
Exactly.
Zeppelin, yeah.
And you don't see that kind of stuff anymore.
Yeah.
You know, so it's really exciting for me to see them blow up like
That's
that.
awesome.
And my career, like, you know, what am I going to say? I know how great I am on stage. I know what I do. I know how visually, you know, I'm very excited. You know, I'm considered a rock and roll comic.
No, you are. Guys like you and Kinnison were rock stars.
That's right.
You were rock stars, absolutely.
Yeah, the difference is I still am.
You are, right.
You know what I mean? And let's hope for a long time.
But let me ask you this. You were always a guy, which was great, that stayed, speaking of the Kinnison thing, you seemed, as far as I know, stayed away from the dope and the booze and everything.
Yeah, that was never really my thing.
But what kind of advice do you give your kids now? They're going to go out on the road. I mean, what do you tell them?
Well, you know
it's a hard life, man.
But you know what? I brought them up a certain way. That's why, you know, a lot of people would be like, you know, up till I did Entourage, I was considered gone.
Right.
You know what I mean? And in a way, I was.
Well, not in the stand-up
world. Even in the stand-up world, I wasn't dealing with publicity people or agents.
Right.
You know, I would do the club circuit, you know, but I wasn't really looking to make career moves because for 10 years, you know, I went through the divorce, you know, so my boys live with me, and I was bringing them up. You know, so, you know, I teach them those things about alcohol and drugs and to stay away.
Good move.
And they're respectful, and they listen to me.
You do like your own rookie symposium.
Well, whatever it is, you know, I did the job.
Yeah.
I mean, they really rock when they're on stage, but they're very clean cut.
And it is a job, you know, being an old man, father. You know, you got to do what you got to do.
And if you're not willing to bring kids up, there were so many people today. You see these kids, they don't even know how to shake your hand. It's like a fish. They look at the floor. Unless they're texting hello, they don't know. Hi, like these shy little idiots because parents aren't there to take care of them.
They don't know how to be men.
You know, you got to bring your kids up. And, you know, a lot of these parents today, there's like a new way of bringing up kids. And the new way is basically letting the kid do what they want. You know, so in other words, the kid falls down a flight of steps. He's going to learn not to, like, try to run down the steps, right? You got to bring your kids up. They don't want to put the time in, and it makes me angry. You know what I mean? Really, I don't know if you could say the AH word. You know, everything's abbreviated.
I think you can say ass, you can't say hole. You can't.
You know, everything's abbreviated with these idiots today. Yeah, but every day, FYI, LOL.
No, but every once in a while, and you could tell the kids out there that their parents, their father in particular, never sat them down and said, look, you're being an a-hole. Would you just calm down? What are you doing? And they think anything goes, and they're trouble. And they're going to be trouble to society.
You know what? Well, that's the one thing I take pride in.
Right.
You know, that I brought my boys up, and they know how to handle themselves.
Listen, I met your kids, and they were really well behaved, like respectful of me. They're like, Mr. Lange. Like, I was like,
that's right.
It was
that's how it should
be. It was impressive, you know?
You know? They're not going to come, hey, Artie, what are you doing over here? Hey, let's go grab a couple slices, throw a couple drinks back, grab some little hula banger on the beach. You know, they're not going to talk like that to you. You know, they do have respect.
Yeah, they do.
You know?
They do. So they're going to tour a little bit, and the thing at the Hard Rock.
The Hard Rock, that's so exciting because, you know, I always loved Vegas. I loved the excitement.
Right.
You know, I love just being there. You know, everything from the chicks to the gambling to hanging out to the shows. To me, it's real show business. And through the last few years, I actually put my act together that I did on Showtime. You know, through Vegas. I did 28 weeks last year at the Riviera.
Right.
And you know, the Hard Rock got wind of what was going on with me, and so now you know we move up.
Sure.
You know, and it's a real exciting thing, and but to me, it's like even more exciting that my guys, my kids, are booked separately than me.
Yeah.
You know, that's like crazy to me.
That makes you more proud,
because I just went, you know, to the Hard Rock to see Axl. You know, the Guns N' Roses.
How'd he do? How's that?
You know
looking?
what? He's great. He's Axl Rose.
Right.
That's the bottom line.
Still going good.
You know what? I'd like to see him put the old band back together.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Anybody would.
Well, you know what? But that's his thing. But you know, they play the songs great. I mean, the band. I mean, the musicians are top shelf. I know Ron Bumblefoot. I mean, you know, these guys are the greatest players in the world.
Sure.
I mean, you know, and he's one of the greatest frontmen ever. You know,
he's like a Mick Jagger.
Listen to me over here.
Yeah.
Listen to me. I did the Rose Bowl with Guns N' Roses. It was Metallica, Dice, and Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, I remember that.
100,000 people.
Who does that?
Yeah, nobody.
Has any other comic ever done 100,000 people?
Nobody's ever.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
You know, people come to me. You know, even when my career took off. Okay. Eddie Murphy was a big supporter of what I did. At a time where everybody was going against me. And he would come over to me and he goes, how do you do 20,000 people a night? And I go, why do your movies make $400 and $500 million? I'll switch places any day of the week.
Listen,
you know what I mean? It's what I was built for. I grew up. I was a drummer when I was a kid. I studied rock stars. I really didn't study comics, you know. And so when I got into the stand-up world, it was, you know, I would watch stand-ups like, you know, I'm not going to bring up Seinfeld, but, you know, there were the great, you know, just great stand. And they stand in one spot. They don't move. And as good as their material is, they're not visual. So after 5 minutes, you want to see somebody else.
Yeah, you gotta get moving around.
That's right.
There's got to be something going on.
And because I was doing comedy really to become an actor, you know, I said, if I'm going to stay in this game, I want to create the most exciting stand-up the world has ever seen.